I'm Bryan.
And I'm Bryan.
And this is Bryan versus Bryan, episode 53, a very special episode. 1 year in the making, my friends. So it better be good. Okay?
We did
Thanks
it. We
for being
lasted
with
a
us.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. We debuted 1 year ago. We appreciate your help. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you being bored all the way to the end. All right?
It fucking flew by. 53. Like, I'm surprised it's been a year. You know what I mean? Like, it just feel like yesterday we started this thing. It's crazy.
I don't know. With your ass, I feel like it's been 10. I feel like I've been doing this I feel like I was ready to retire. It's like an old marriage, man. The sex ain't good no more. I'm bored.
I'll start wearing lingerie.
It's been great. But today we have 1 year in the making, episode 53. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I've heard it referred to that a lot, but I guess it's just The Suicide Squad. Did the first one have the, or is it Suicide Squad?
It's just Suicide
this
Squad.
One's the. So if you see the, you know it's a James Gunn joint. But 2021 theaters, HBO Max. So you saw it in theaters, I saw it on HBO Max. As we discussed before we started filming, very underwhelming performance at the theater, which is disappointing. Because a lot of these movies have been, I mean, even when they break box office records now, the numbers are so crap, like in comparison to pre-COVID. So it's kind of weird. It broke records, and it's like 68 million.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. that's record breaking.
Yeah, it should be making that in a day, not a weekend.
Yeah, we used to do hundreds of millions to say it was doing good. But yeah, I guess this one is underwhelmed, which is disappointing. It's not like James Gunn was probably going to do anything else with DC. This is just a one-off because he got fired and had the time to do it. So, but it is disappointing because I enjoyed this a lot. This is really cool. This is fun. So let's just get into it. It's not a reboot. It's not a sequel, which tripped me out because some of these characters are playing the same person in both movies. I'm like, this is weird as hell.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm, the Viola Davis character, the Colonel guy who's the new RoboCop. I can't remember his name. Boomerang, this dude. It was kind of weird. How did you, when it started off and it's these characters that are from the other one, how did you feel about that? I was like, well, this is so weird. I was like, I'm enjoying a new movie, but I'm kind of in the headspace of the old one because I'm seeing these people.
Well, it's weird because you say that. I actually didn't know that. So you just said that it wasn't a sequel. I just figured it was a sequel because it's the same characters. They kind of like, even in the beginning, they rush through a huge plot point in the beginning in the first one, which is that Amanda Waller's taking all these villains and putting them out there, but they can't just run off because they have these bombs implanted. But in this movie, they just fly by. It's almost like business as usual.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. You know the drill. Here's the bomb. If you try to run it, like, it's just a casual thing. So I just figured it was a sequel. I didn't know it wasn't kind of related to the other one. But no, I kind of echo your thought. I thought this movie was fantastic. There's a lot not to like about it. You know what I mean? Like, this movie was pretty, goddamn, fucking hell. Pretty damn entertaining. There's some of it in the, I don't think it was a complete, grand salami home run. I think there's some stuff in there I didn't quite like, but overall, from beginning to end, I thought it was pretty goddamn enjoyable. And yeah, the opening probably like 10 minutes is so misleading that by the time you get to the opening credits, it's so good. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah,
like I texted you. I watched 18 minutes of it and I was like, okay, got a feeling this is going to be really good. I guess we won't go too deep into everything, but a lot of people die in the first 18 minutes. And it's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
These people are just here to die. They're on posters and shit. They're in the movie for about 10 minutes. Pretty interesting way to do stuff. I heard James Gunn, that was the only way he agreed to do it, was if he could do a movie not tied to anything, not tied to the DC universe, not tied to the previous film. And they said, yeah, whatever, do what you want. So I think it worked out great. So the plot of the movie, which is not much, and you don't you need to know is the Viola Davis character. I don't remember her name.
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller puts together a team of villains who are in jail, and they complete these tasks or missions. They get years off their sentence so they can work towards freedom. And then they're sent on one mission that takes up the whole movie. And then that's who cares about the story, because this isn't about that. This is super just a character piece, character driven. And it's got a lot of characters and they're all freaking fun.
Mm-hmm.
So Idris Elba kind of takes the front after the deceiving beginning where you think it's something other than what it is. I really liked this guy as Javelin, that German comedian, Hans or whatever the hell his name is. I always see him on Conan. He's so funny. He didn't get much to do in this, but damn, he was good. I liked it. Mm-hmm. Take this Javelin.
What does your name stand for? That's just his letters.
Yeah, everyone's name.
All names are letters, dipshit.
But Idris is what was it? Bloodsport?
Yeah,
Bloodsport.
Van Damme.
I like he's got the same exact backstory as Will Smith,
mm-hmm.
the daughter motivated super assassin, and even has the same exact backstory as John Cena, and they kind of make fun of it. He's like, "Are you fucking with me? What? You just said the exact same thing. He has the same backstory as me." Yeah, pretty much. So you said this team was full of a completely unique individual.
I'm better than you.
You get the same better than you. Yeah, and there's some funny back and forth between them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the characters were just amazing. And then Harley Quinn is really good again. Not in it as much as I thought she would be. Not that she's not in it a lot. It's just kind of a side quest most of the time.
Yeah.
Kind of figured it would be more of her with the main team. So that was kind of interesting. I guess let's start at the beginning, because we got to go over some of these villains, these super deep cuts, because these are really cool and I'd like to talk about. So what the hell was this guy's name? What's that actor's name? Rourke from Walking Dead?
Michael Rooker, I think.
Rooker.
Savant.
Yeah, Savant. That guy was pretty cool.
He was. It's funny because they set him up. He's basically the protagonist in the beginning of this movie, because the movie starts with him and it kind of follows him through this mission through his eyes. But he's kind of like our vessel in a sense.
Yeah.
And then he just dies. And it's just kind of a weird misleading. I thought they were like building him up to be maybe the villain. Like he sees some shit and goes off and becomes the villain of the movie type of deal. But no, he just like runs off and gets scared and gets his head blown off. I thought that was kind of a fun, misleading decision.
And the deaths are brutal, man. It's awesome. Yeah. Good graphics on him too. Like, I think what happened to him. Oh yeah. He tries to, first he seems really cool and confident, and he saves a character from the water. Mm-hmm. So he's really, and then once he starts to see everyone dying, he just flips a switch and he pusses out.
Yeah.
He just gets real scared and starts swimming away, trying to swim away. And then she triggers the bomb in his head and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Then they have like a bird land on him during you got to have the music intro sequence with Gunn where it's starting to do credits and the bird lands on his head and starts eating the flesh. Some funny stuff. Another one was that weasel. Yeah. I didn't like that. I was sad that, and I love animals, even if it's a digital fake animal. I'm like, I like this character. Let's see where this goes. And so they immediately just drop him in the water and he drowns. I was like, oh, this is sad.
It was pretty sad. Like, it was pretty sad.
I was like, this is sad, dude.
Poor weasel.
And then the guy saved him. And I was like, oh yeah, sweet. Okay. He's not going to be dead. But then he pulls him ashore after filming the whole saving him. He's like, yeah, the weasel's dead. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Poor guy.
Yeah, I thought that was sad. There's another kind of animal cruelty part I thought was sad when the guy lights all the birds on fire too.
Oh yeah.
Why are we doing this? Light all the birds on fire.
Well, spoilers for Weasel. Did you know you saw the weasel, right? Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna leave it as it was, but Maybe Weasel made it. Okay. He's getting his own spinoff. So I felt a little better, but at the time I was like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a funny moment when just so many characters. I can't remember this guy, Colonel Stars or something.
Which guy? The guy in the yellow?
Check? Yeah.
Rick Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair. Like, did anybody check if the damn weasel could swim? And everyone's like looking around. Oops. So, yeah, all those deaths were brutal. And then we come to find out. And I love how they keep doing this thing in the movie where it's like 3 days earlier and they'll show it like carved in the sand, or they'll show like pine cones or something. I think it was on a toilet seat with suds, where it said like 3 days earlier, and Idris Elba was cleaning the toilet seat. And then let's talk about that scene. That was amazing.
Hold on.
When she goes to try
I want to talk about one thing before I want to go back to the beach scene.
There's a lot, so go ahead and jump in.
Yeah. So we were fucking dying, dude. Margot Robbie's delivery in this scene, it was just like comedic perfection. Because there's a moment they build up TDK in the plane because they're like, what does TDK stand for? And he's like, oh, that's just my name. So he gets to the beach and they're like, activate the detachable kid. Yeah. And Harley Quinn's like, you're the detachable kid. And so he like, these little arms go out and they start
patting. They look like action figures. They like,
yeah. And it cuts back to him. He cuts back, all the little arms are like,
this is the arms are just hitting people.
And then it cuts to Harley Quinn and she's like, what the fuck? And like her delivery of that line was just so good. But I just had to throw that out there because the whole theater was dying in that delivery of what the fuck.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
And once he starts they start like shooting his arms. It shows Filion on the ground without his arms. Oh, it's fucking so hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that beginning. I was like, damn, this is a good start. Hope we can carry this momentum.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get to Idris and she's trying to convince him to join. Obviously, there's some back and forth where she's tried before. And so she brings his daughter. So kind of like it's funny because it mirrors the Will Smith thing in the first one, but it's completely different. Because so he sees the daughter and then he starts arguing with the daughter. Unlike Will Smith's connection is his love. He's like getting his argument because she stole a watch. And he's like, what? She's like, a style watch. She's like, what does that do? She's like, you watch TV on your watch. Why the fuck would you want to watch TV on a watch? She's like, I don't know. It does other stuff too. And then they start arguing. And I thought it was the funniest shit when they start into the fuck you. She's like, fuck you. And he's like, fuck you. At the glass.
Yeah, that's when he gets him. He's like, oh, I wouldn't steal a fucking watch. The stupid fucking thing. It's like, it does other things too. Yeah, it's a fun moment where you think it's gonna be that scene in Suicide Squad, right? Or like, I miss you, father. Like that, put your hand on the glass bullshit you see in all the movies, but it turns into like this ridiculous. Where
they're just screaming "fuck you" and it's a back and forth
playground fight. Maybe
4 or 5 fuck yous that elevate. And there's the delivery on the one I just thought was so funny when they just switches it up and fuck you. When he modulates one.
Yeah.
So funny. And then when he's like, you think I want to be your father?
It's like, Jesus.
I didn't want nothing to do with you. And then you can tell what finally gets him is when none of this bothers him. But then when she says it's an embarrassment, for you to be my dad, is when it kind of hit him a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that's how they kind of convince him she's going to face some jail time or he's going to join the squad. Yeah. And she's like, I'll put her in jail and we got a 53% mortality rate here. And she's only 16. Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. It's pretty fucked.
What's interesting, because I went back and watched probably the first 20 minutes of it yesterday. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but there's a scene later on where Amanda Waller goes fucking, like she's about to make a decision that's a really bad one, and some people intervene. And I thought at the time when I saw it Friday night, I thought it was a little, out of nowhere. But when I watched it, I'm like, oh, there's like little kernels of these people who are eventually intervene kind of like question Amanda a little bit. And that's one of the scenes where like she basically threatens Bloodsport's daughter, and then like there's some coworkers that are like, is she really like threatening his daughter? Like, it's pretty fucked up. So yeah, that kind of elevates him to join the team, basically.
Yeah. And then they put together this new team. Okay, then we find out the new team, the first team that all died in like 18 minutes was just the diversion they had. Because when they arrive, the real team arrives on the island. They see like a little burst of light and explosion, and you know what? It's that first team, and it's just something that smells like what was that? There's something going on over here. That's just the diversion. Keep going.
They have no idea too. They literally have zero idea this is happening on the other slaughter.
But what the hell was the shark's name? God, it's a weird
King
name.
Shark.
Yeah, but he's got a name, and it's a freaking weird Hawaiian type name.
Yeah,
and I don't remember it. But anyways, that character was really fun and done really well. Like, damn, that skin on that shark looked super realistic. And that was done by Sylvester Stallone. That's pretty cool. But yeah, he's just the basic dumb character. He's mindless eater. And I love when they first introduce him. Is that shark reading a book? No, he's pretending. The book's upside down. He's like, me smart, me love book. Yeah, he was really fun. Then we have Ratcatcher 2.
Yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, Ratcatcher 2, which was I think my standout character of this movie. I thought Ratcatcher 2 was kind of like the heart and soul of this group.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ended up being like one of my favorites. And my favorite damn thing in this whole damn movie, told you I'm an animal guy.
Yeah.
Was Sebastian the rat.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the whole damn movie. I loved him. I was like, if you kill this rat off by the end of this movie, I swear I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be sad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, every time like she gets introduced to someone, and I think when Idris meets her, you control rats. What a stupid superpower. And then Sebastian the rat's on her shoulder. He's kind of waving to him.
With his little paw out
there. His hand for I'm not going to shake that rat's hand. He's kind of sad and looks at his hand.
Yeah, her backstory was pretty sad. I definitely agree with you. She was really the heart and soul. You really feel for her in that backstory scene.
Yeah, I didn't expect to like that character that much at all. And yeah, and her dad, played by freaking, I don't ever know how to pronounce his name, but Wakiki Wakuku.
Yeah,
that director. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and the rats, just super super fun. I think that's all. That's the main squad then. Oh yeah, we have Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man, yeah.
I thought that guy did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that guy's name. I just know him from freaking Dark Knight.
Yeah, that one little scene he has.
Yeah, that one scene. He was really great in as well.
There's another great delivery, a line delivery. Oh, by the way, I should say, before I get to this another line delivery thing, Idris Elba, man. Idris fucking Elba. I want to see him in way more things. That guy is awesome. I like Idris Elba a lot. So it was a joy to watch him kind of come. It's been a really long time since I've seen it. I think like Luther is maybe the last thing I've kind of watched him in, but I thought he was fucking awesome in this movie. But there's the scene, the mission scene. They're in this like small little auditorium room, and it's basically like, oh, there's this coup d'etat, whatever, in this little city, and there's this I think it's like Jugendheim, where there's this thing going on. You have to go, basically destroy it. That's in a nutshell, that's what they have to do. Anyways,
Jugendheim or something.
Yeah. At the end, Idris Elba's all kind of like chillaxed, sitting there, and he's like, "We're all gonna die." And then Polka Dot Man kind of turns over and he's like, "I hope so." And then they just perfectly just like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes!"
Yeah,
So
the Polka Dot guy had a lot of good lines, man. I think there's another line later. Who the fuck was it? It was, I think, Peacemaker. Someone has some crazy dialogue, and someone says, "Man, to Polka Dot Man, I thought you were the crazy one." I am. After this guy just acted super crazy. Yeah, and his power is he shoots polka dots. And it's like, people are always like, can it really just be what it sounds like? And it is. And it's really cool throughout the movie. He'll like swell up with like polka dots under his skin that are like glowing. And
yeah,
at one point he had to get up when they're camping and go puke them out. And that was just hilarious.
Cool.
There's this fucking light rainbow coming out of his mouth.
It's like puking out Skittles or taste the rainbow.
Yeah. And then he comes out and he's normal. His skin's all normal.
Just goes back to bed casually. Do, do, do.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't like to kill people, but I just imagine they're my mom and it makes it easy. And then, so yeah, the thing is, the funny gag with him is everyone he sees is his mom. And she's like, where's your mom? He's like, she's everywhere. And then it backs up and the shark is his mom. The whole team is his mom. That was hilarious. That was real good. And so, yeah, they're going to find this, this research facility, the Otenheim, on this island, because there's supposed to be some secret Operation Starfish there. Mm-hmm. And we get introduced to this character who's been in charge of the Operation Thinker, the dude with all the plugs in his brain. And I liked that guy. I thought that guy did really well as a maniacal bad dude.
Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I don't watch that crap, so I didn't know that.
Sorry, I don't either. I just think he's one of the doctors.
And yeah, so they go to this thing, and it's not much story, but the characters are amazing. The brutal fights. And, I loved how it's pretty grounded and pretty awesome. And then all of a sudden we get a fucking alien starfish.
Yeah.
A giant alien starfish is the villain.
Suicide Squad versus Big Starfish, whatever it is.
Yeah. It's like the craziest thing. And it worked somehow. It's really awesome. And I love how by the time they're fighting it, the polka dot man, he's just scared, and they got to convince him that his mom is attacking the city. And he looks up and it's this giant mom like destroying the city. And before that, I love the line where he's got like, Wallace, you need to come see this shit. It's a fucking kaiju.
Oh yeah.
And it's attacking the city. That was amazing. And so he sees his mom, and so he just shoots his polka dots out, and it starts tearing up the leg, and it shows it as her, and it's like if that eviscerates her ankles. And then like everyone else in this movie, he just gets killed.
Yeah, just one big like nothing. Yeah,
one big tentacle. And I was reading afterwards some facts about the movie where it's like it showed him doing a lot of damage when that happened, and then there's no damage to the starfish after that. And like no I was like, yeah, you're right. What the hell happened with that? But I was reading that 10 Things Wrong with Suicide Squad. Those kind of articles. It's like people are shooting that starfish in the eye with like missiles and guns, and they can't penetrate it. But a rat and a pointy stick could penetrate it.
Yeah.
When Margot Robbie goes with the javelin. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I finally know what to do with this javelin.
Yeah, that was pretty good. A little setup.
Yeah, she goes up there and then stabs him in the eye. And then also the rats, like Rat Catcher 2 holds up her, I don't even know what the heck. It looks like a PlayStation Move controller. Yeah, it's got the orb at the top and it controls the rats. And so pretty much the rats and her that take it down.
Yeah. Which is cool because there's a lot of things going on in that scene. Like when they're kind of sharing backstories in the bus in the middle of the movie, he says Bloodsport says to Ratcatcher, I'm going to get you out of this thing alive. And she goes, no, I'm going to get you out of this thing alive kind of thing. So that happens. Not only that, but in that scene, Bloodsport also says he has this fear of rats because his dad basically used to torture him with it. Or like punish him with rats, and in that scene,
put him in a box, right?
Yeah,
for 24 hours. Hungry rats and attacked it.
And so in that scene, not only is she saving him like she said she would, but she's also like protecting him and like comforting him basically while all the rats are like all around him and he's like freaking the fuck out. So it's kind of a interesting layered scene. I liked it.
And on that, there's another scene before where she first uses kind of her rat powers and gets a lot of rats. Oh yeah, because the shark guy's about to eat Ratcatcher too. That was a really funny scene.
Yeah.
It's like he wouldn't eat me. He's got kind eyes. It's like, no. And then Sebastian the rat's like, it's like memeing that he's gonna eat you.
Yeah.
And he discusses his fear of rats, and then the leader lady is like, why didn't you never told us you had a fear of rats? Phobia of rats. Is like, why would I tell you that? I'm a deadly assassin. I'm not going to tell all my weaknesses. Okay. That was pretty cool. But back to the starfish. I loved it when it got taken down because Margot Robbie goes up there with the spear. Ratcatcher 2. And then I loved it when she gets in the eye. And then you see Sebastian swim by. Yeah. You can always tell when it's him because he's got like a little red harness that differentiates him from every other rat. And he just kind of swims by in there.
Leading the charge.
I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. And then, they kind of tear it apart from the outside. And then you didn't even make you feel bad for the damn starfish. It was like killing everybody and destroying everything when like its final line is, and I was happy floating and I was happy floating out there gazing at the stars.
Yeah.
Because the U.S. military, or not military, but NASA found it in space. And then it shows them they're all fucking with it, chaining it up, fucking with it. Until they find out it can make people zombies. And then, they kind of make you feel a little bad for this alien because it's like,
shitty.
I was happy just being in space, but you guys had to bring me here. And then, we find out it was kind of like the U.S. government had been doing these experiments the whole time, and it wasn't what we thought it was. And they're actually there to destroy the evidence. And Ric Flair over here, Rick Flag, was trying to get the hard drive and expose the experiments. And then we have a little red herring as Peacemaker was actually there to make sure no evidence left. Not just to complete the mission, he had a separate mission. And so then he kind of turns like a bad guy and goes after the Rick Flag character. And then we get some really interesting stuff right there when he kills him. That was pretty cool.
I was pretty bummed about that. I like Ric Flair a lot. I was kind of bummed that
I figured he was going to die since he was in the first one. It's like they didn't have anyone from the first one kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Going. I didn't figure anyone from the first one, but the main leader, Davis character, was going to survive.
Yeah. Or so, Harley. I guess Harley would be the one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Harley, I thought too. But he made it a lot further than I thought. I thought he was going to die on the island with it because he was with the first squad.
Yeah.
Oh, and I keep remembering things because it's just a menagerie of crap in this.
Yeah, there's a lot in this movie. Yeah.
And I remember like when they say he was captured. They have to go save him, and they're just going through and brutally murdering everyone. And then Idris and Bloodsport and Peacemaker get in this contest of like who can kill people kind of cooler. They'll kill one, look at the other one will kill one. And there was some really awesome stuff in that. And the dude shoots him in the Peacemaker over his back, shoots someone in the shoulders. That doesn't count. That was non-fatally. It's like, no, exploding bullets. The whole body just... And then they get there, and
wait, hold on. Before that one line, there was no one likes to show, or you show off, and he's like, it's only showing up when it's fucking badass. And then
he said no one likes to show off, and then he said they do when the thing they're showing off is. What did he say? God dang it!
Yeah, something.
The thing they're showing off is fucking awesome. Yeah, and then Idris is like, shit, that's true.
So that was great.
Yeah. And then so they find him and he's drinking tea in there with some people. He's like, yeah, these are the resistance fighters. They saved me. Without them, I wouldn't be alive. Like, how come? And then she's like, how come my crew didn't alert me that you guys were here? And then they're all like, yeah, we didn't see anybody. No crew. And then, and then they say like, yeah, we might have killed all of them.
That polka dot man, I think, ruins it or something. Like, yeah, kill all of them. I thought they were my mother. Or pictured them as my mother.
And then the shark throws up a piece of one of them. Yeah, that was freaking awesome. Yeah, you find out they just murdered all these innocent people like extremely brutally. yeah, that just came to me. So there's a lot of this movie that just, it's just bang, 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 and then you kind of forget about it by the end. So then, that's how they beat the starfish, and man, this movie was fun.
Great ending, by the way. Speaking of Sebastian, that last scene was the chef's kiss in that fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, and I loved it. My favorite character is the way they end it. Is they all kind of relaxing on the helicopter, going home, feeling good. The ones that survived, it's a tough fight. And then Sebastian curls up on Bloodsport's lap. Mm-hmm. Bloodsport is like, ugh. And then he finally, pets it a little bit.
Yeah, and credits.
Oh man, it was awesome.
So yeah, overall, I thought this movie was fantastic. However, I want kind of talk about stuff I didn't like, because like I said in the beginning, I didn't think it was a home run. I don't think it's like part of the best superhero movies ever made group or club. No. I think it's just shy of that. I think it could have been a little better. I think
it's probably part of the best DC movies, which is all I could hope for. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
All I could hope for.
But I think the middle of this movie loses a lot of momentum, and I kind of wasn't as invested. Like I would say the first 40, like basically the scene you were just talking about where they killed the freedom fighters on accident. Everything from the next 40 minutes of the movie, I was kind of like there's a scene where Harley has this romance thing with this guy, and then after that
which was really funny scene. We didn't even talk about that. Harley just shooting this motherfucker in the chest out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was awesome. So there's that stuff. There's stuff where they have to go to a bar and they get captured, and there's like a truck chase and they had to escape. And then there's a lot of stuff I was just like, it didn't really captivate me as much as the first 40 minutes did. But once they regroup with Harley and they go to Jotunheim, whatever it's called, that stuff I really liked. But that stuff in the middle is kind of like, not that it was awful or terrible, but it was kind of like, you're just kind of mindlessly entertaining me at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's some nuggets of good, like when they go to show up to break Harley Quinn out, and they're all getting ready to breach the. Yeah. He shows up. She's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?"
I was going to bring that up. We're going to save you. What are you doing? And she's so touched by it. Mm-hmm. She starts to like well up with tears.
Yeah.
He's like, really? He's like, well, yeah, we had a really great plan too. She's like, I can go back in and you can still do it.
Yeah.
He said, what's the point? That's really good. And then when Milton died.
Oh yeah, the Milton part was pretty good.
Milton, he's been helping us the whole time. It was Milton. Harley Quinn's like, there was no one named Milton. I would have remembered a Milton. It's a very distinct name. And then by the end, she's like, with Idris, like, I could be your friend Milton. He's like, my name isn't Milton. And he just walks away. She's like, yes, it is. We just had like a 3-hour conversation about how your name was Milton. He's like, no, we didn't.
God. That was so good. Yeah, the whole Milton bit was fantastic. What else? Yeah. I was gonna basically, the whole middle section of the movie was kind of but
yeah, I agree. Between the murdering of all the freedom fighters too, like really getting into the starfish, and it was kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why this is a really great movie, but it's almost like it's not. I consider what puts it in movies into that top tier of superhero movies are the ones where you can watch again, you want to watch again, and they just have this replay value. Like Man of Steel, I can watch that over and over. Dark Knight, I can watch that over and over. Like Michael Keaton's Batman, I can watch that over and over. Even like James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy, that's a pretty good one to rewatch. Yeah. It's just fast, flows, and you don't lose much on subsequent viewings.
Yeah,
I haven't watched this one again, but I feel like this isn't a movie that lends itself to be one of those where you watch it again and again. It's just kind of a really great watch through 1 or 2 or 3 times is what it feels like to me. And that's a great watch, but I just don't see myself needing or wanting to rewatch this like those super classic Marvel, or not even Marvel, but comic book movies like Iron Man. The first Iron Man, you can watch that 100 damn times and still enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think that's where it misses the mark a little bit for me.
Yeah. And all those movies you mentioned, or at least some of them do, They have a lot of good set pieces that are fun to revisit. This movie, I would argue, really only has one set piece, and it's at the very end of the movie. Most of the action in this movie happens very quickly, and there's not really much to it. It's just like people shooting guns at each other. There's no like, and not only that, like there's a scene where Harley breaks out of prison, and like I thought that scene, aside from when she starts shooting people and flowers are going, I thought visually that was fucking rad. But for the most part, I thought that whole fight scene was really boring and just generic. And I think the reason why is because there's nothing as an audience member to attach ourselves to in that scene other than it's like the movie saying, oh, we're going to take a break and watch Harley Quinn beat people up for a couple minutes. And there's no, like, if there was something else to it, like let's say she's in the room and like maybe Rick Flag and Bloodsport on the side of the building talking about breaching. And then the soldiers know they're going to breach. Like they're falling into a trap. And they radio into the torture guy, like, hey, we need your help. And then Harley like snaps out of it and she has to like rush and kill all these guys in time before they get amped. Like that would get me more invested in the scene. But for her to just mindlessly kill people for no good, I don't know, it was just kind of boring and generic to me. And there's a lot of that in this movie where I think other superhero movies have that layer where like there's a ticking clock that they need to do something in time. And it kind of gets you involved as an audience member. And this movie doesn't really have that. It's just kind of like, hey, look, we're cool and edgy and we're having violence for the sake of whatever. And you're going to have fun with it regardless. But I don't know. Those are just my nitpicky stuff. But
it's also one of its strengths is its violence. Cause you never know.
Oh yeah.
You've always obviously feel like anyone could die at any time. Mm-hmm. So it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat and it really makes you, okay, who's going to really survive? Cause like when the shark, he just wants friends and he goes into that, I don't know what the hell it was, but there's like a tank of water and there's little jellyfish things making a shark shape. And he's like, yay, friends. And he's running and they're following him. And he's just so happy. And then the take breaks and he's in there with them and he's like, my friends. And they start eating him.
Mm-hmm. Like,
and I was like, I was sad that part too. I was like, really, this is how they're going to kill the shark?
Yeah. It's pretty
I really thought he was a goner. There's a couple times I thought a couple of these people were gone, like Idris, when he shoots that thing and he's hanging there and he's like, oh, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone else made the jump. I was like, oh, really? This is how they're going to kill Idris and drop him? I was like, I wouldn't put it by him. I was like, I mean, they're just killing everybody off and not giving him the deaths you would think.
Yeah. But I felt really bad for King Shark when, like, I think it's after it's already been attacked by those things and it's sitting outside the front of the building and they're just mindlessly all their fucking machine guns on him. I was like, oh, poor Shark.
That's another part where you think he's going to die. They're just unloading on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently his skin is super tough, so he took all that even.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
He just gets up and that was pretty good.
Yeah. So, great movie. Those are some of the things that I think keep it from being the top tier of superhero movies. But, superhero movies do have a lot of classic, great action movies at the top. So it's not a big miss to not get to that echelon. Not everybody can be a 2008 Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or whatever, 2012
or Dark
Knight or an 89 Batman. Most superhero movies are not going to reach that because superhero movies have become this Hollywood freaking machine where they're just, and James Gunn talked about it. They're just boring and they're dumb. And he's trying to change that. And then I think this is, something totally different for the genre. It's not that different for DC. They've been doing a lot of this weird stuff, like with the one-offs, not the connected universe really, but they're one-offs and they're weird cartoons they do. So good for them. This did feel like a DC comic in film versus a Marvel comic. You know what I mean? It has very DC feel. It's always darker. It's always a little bit more narcissistic and like I don't even know how to describe it. When you read a DC comic versus a Marvel, this feels like it. Because Marvel is always so happy and in the end everything's fine, and their movies are like that too. So this was really refreshing.
This is more like cynical in a way. Yeah, cynical than Marvel.
Yeah, definitely. And DC, it could be killing it with their properties and finding good filmmakers to just do good pictures. And I think they do really well, but I don't know, man. Warner Brothers is just their head up their ass or something.
Yeah, they're really hit and miss. I think they're starting to bounce back a little bit as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Wonder Woman 84 wasn't the best. It wasn't awful, but it was just kind of mediocre. But I really like the Joker quite a bit. I think that stands out. Not as like the best, but I just mean stands out as a superhero movie. This movie stands out. We'll see what the Batman does. I'm really stoked for that. I don't know anything about fucking Black Adam, so we'll see. Shazam 2, I would watch again. I like Shazam a lot. So I don't know. But yeah, like Warner Brothers is really hit and miss. We'll see. But this one is like night and day from the first Suicide Squad. It's like, you see what happens when you care about your property, or you get somebody in a team to care about your property instead of rushing it.
Yeah, and I was totally expecting a DC Universe cameo, just something. I was expecting it, but it didn't happen. Kind of disappointing. Just throw in Superman or Batman or even Jared Leto's Joker as a throwaway funny bit.
Right.
I expected that to happen because at the beginning they had like that Marvel-esque intro where it's like going through the montage of DC movies and it's showing Batman and the new ones. It's got Affleck, it's got Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, what the hell is this? I thought you guys were like, either kill the universe or do it. You know what I mean? They're always like, hey, guess what? Snyder Cut's out. I thought you were fucking done with the connected universe. So you were moving on and you're getting a new Superman and all this. It's like, do it or don't do it. Shit or get off the pot, DC. It's like, God dang, I'm tired of it. Either keep Affleck and all these guys or get rid of them and start over. We're tired of it. It's stringing us along.
Yeah. There's even a push right now on social media. I know you're not on Twitter, but on Twitter, it's been hashtagged quite a bit, but they're doing a release, the David Ayer cut. He's the director of Suicide Squad. I'm like, I don't think any cut of that movie is going to salvage it. Maybe you can prove me wrong, but I don't want to see a fucking Ayer cut. I'm good, but
I'd be interested
like 30
to watch
days
it.
to write the script. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. And that movie did incredibly well
compared
to this one, which is it's like, what the hell's going on, man?
That's backwards.
You never know. So that's why Warner Brothers probably is confused because they don't know what to do. Batman versus Superman, they think is going to do amazing. Underwhelms at the box office. Suicide Squad does amazing. The David Ayer one, this one doesn't do that great. Like, God dang, what are we doing? Because they're just throwing everything at the wall, hoping something makes some money. Like, hopefully one of these will be a Marvel movie. Go.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, this one's a little tough because it's rated R, so that you're already kind of splitting your audience a little bit. But also, like, the Delta is getting people scared, and I think there's probably a lot of cities that are starting to close shop again. So maybe that hurt it a little bit. Maybe just people aren't comfortable going back. There could be a lot of, or maybe just promotion. I don't know if I don't watch TV, but like, are they promoting this? Like, are they putting this on website, like ads on websites? Like, so there's probably a lot of factors that, because this movie deserves a lot more than 26 million, in my opinion. I thought this movie was great. Everyone should watch it if you're a DC fan.
Yeah. I have a new appreciation for James Gunn. I really like what he does with these ensemble movies.
Did you not like Guardians? Or are you?
No, I like Guardians.
Yeah.
I just have a new appreciation.
Yeah.
So Guardians is really good, but I didn't really like Guardians 2.
I didn't like Guardians 2 either.
I thought it was kind of boring and slow. So I didn't know if that was kind of a flash in the pan moment for him. Because I don't even know of any other movies he does. So I was just judging off that. But now with this, totally different characters. Obviously, he can do the same thing he did Guardians 1, the magic. So
yeah,
he's good at these ensembles. I want the James Gunn Power Rangers movie.
There you go.
It's a big cast movie. It's fun. Yeah. So let's get to it, man.
Yeah, let's rate it.
This one's hard. It's tough. 8.4. Boom.
I'm going to go solid 8. Yeah. This movie is a fun time. There's a lot of great moments. Like even just us talking like, oh yeah, like we even talk about the eat a bag of dicks scene. There's a lot of like little kernels of joy in this movie and great dialogue, great characters, a lot of heart in this movie. Like there's some moments in this movie that don't even belong in this movie. And I'm happy that it does. Like there's a scene where Ratcatcher and King Shark they start to bond and they have a friendship. That scene would not belong in a lot of movies that are like this. And, even the way the movie ends with Sebastian on his lap, a cute little like heartfelt moment. So there's a lot to like about this movie. It's just, unfortunately, there's a good chunk of it in the middle that wasn't that great. So I think that kind of prevents it from elevating it to one of the greats. If that middle part would have been, carried that momentum that the first 40 minutes has, because the first 40 minutes fucking flies and it's a great time, but then it kind of comes to a halt. But if he would have kept that momentum going, maybe put a little fun set piece in there somewhere, I think it would elevate it to be one of the top superhero movies. But as it stands, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
8 and an 8.4. Yeah, I think it's close to 8.5 for me. It's really great. And everything you just said is only saying that it's not one of the best superhero movies. It's still a great movie.
Yeah, still agree. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously both gave it 8s. I just wanted there's so many lines you forget. The Peacemaker line, I loved it. I wanted to bring it up where he's talking about peace. It's like, I'll do anything to keep the peace. If that means I have to kill every man, woman, and child to get it, so be it. And I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, so I am kind of looking forward to his series. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, it's weird that they chose him because, like you said, he becomes a villain. Like I didn't even like him at the end. Like fuck Peacemaker, piece of shit. Kill Rick Flag, and he's about to kill Ratcatcher and all that stuff. I'm like, it's weird that he's getting his own show, but
but his motivations are like understandable. He's not a villain. He's, you know what I mean. He's working for the good guy when he's doing it. He's working for the U.S. and he's like, he makes some good points. He's like, yeah, when he says no one's saying what they did was right when he's talking about what's on the hard drive, but we can't have this come out or this will be an international incident. This would be way bigger than what was happening. This would be a bigger problem if it gets out. Mm-hmm. And he's saying he doesn't agree with it, but this is what has to be done. So it's kind of relatable. He's not, his motivations aren't evil while he's doing this. Like, so it's pretty cool. I think it's a prequel. It's supposed to be kind of his story, maybe how he's arrested and stuff and how he became who he is. At least that's what I understand it's going to be. I'm sure it'll have some sequel stuff too, since we had a little bit of a lead in at the end of this movie. Yeah. All right. 8.4. 1 year down. Keep on trucking, baby. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, that's it. Suicide Squad. Check it out. What a really good movie. Really fun. What a good time, dude. Just put this on and with some buddies or someone you love and you'll have some laughs. I mean, Jesse walked past the room a couple times and stopped like every time. This looks really interesting. This is cool. Yeah, it is. Are you going to sit down and watch it or are you just going to...
She comes back with popcorn.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great. Go check it out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us for a year. If you've been here since the beginning, wow. Thanks for hanging on. We barely did that. So we appreciate your tenacity, putting up with our long-winded, boring reviews. We love them, baby. We love having you. Please like, subscribe, please hang out, and we'll see you around for another whole year, huh?
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Peace.